Don't want it, don't need it.
I got two.
I just write
You
checks.
gave me one and somebody put one on my desk then later. Did you do that?
I can
I
get
need
this
a
second.
doctor.
Oh, okay.
It's 5:31, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll go to the first roll call for Treasurer Aldrich.
Dick Bradshaw,
Here.
Mayor Evans.
Here. Are there any additions to the agenda to be made? Department heads, you guys see anything that I forgot? All right, we'll move next to the reading of minutes and approval. We have the August 21st regular meeting. Brad, shall you see anything that needs to be added, subtracted, deleted, or amended?
No, I don't. I move we accept the minutes as written.
I will second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move next to reading of claims. We have claims in the amount of $367,985.26. Do we have any discussions regarding the claims or any questions?
Yeah, I got one. I probably know the answer to this, and I feel stupid. I'm on page 9. You got Office 360.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the water department, 7501, and then you have the same thing for the sewer. Is that just stuff you split?
And then you'll find it in the clerk's office.
Okay. What about the Indiana Department of Transportation? That'd be on page 8.
12,800 and some,
Yeah.
or 21,000. Which one is it? It's a claim. It's
12,577. What's the deal with that? I mean,
That's one of your change orders that we had to pay. It's one that we never got an answer on for sure. It simply said, who was the construction?
Read through it.
he's right.
Yep, thank you, Reeve Riley. And it just said overreach. Melissa was supposed to get back and explain it to us, but it hit a certain point. NDOT said you either pay it or we'll take it out of your checking account, so we paid it.
They're pretty rough, huh?
Yep.
Any more questions, Mr. Bradshaw?
I do not. I move that we accept the claims as presented.
I will second. We have a motion and a second to approve the claims in the amount of $367,985.26. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You should have gotten your packet. Department head updates from everybody except Dick, I believe.
Yeah, I got it. You need it?
Sure.
Not much to it.
Do you have any questions for our department heads regarding our updates?
I had one for Steve. 3217 North Wells.
Thank you.
There must be 5 or 6 911 calls from 37. They all say, I don't know.
Oh,
say
that's
hung
the
up.
tower.
What?
That's the tower site. The cell tower, sometimes they default back to that location.
You have a lot of problems with hang-ups with 911
They
or?
do, yeah. People call, hang up, or hang up. Call,
You do anything about it or?
yeah. Usually go and check them out, find out what's going on, if we can find out where the address is. And sometimes we can't because it defaults back to the tower, so. It's just where it's at.
I saw a lot of those. I said, boy, somebody's really in trouble there. Must've been 8 or 10 of those.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for catching that, Joe.
Well, that explains that to me.
Okay, that's next to me then, right?
Yeah, with me, 3217 North Wells.
That's with the Duke stuff there, I suppose, the tower.
There's another one, there was quite a few on North Wells too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that address?
Yeah.
The address mine?
That 3217 just came up and up and up and up.
I'm at 2521.
That's your address.
Are we gonna have updates on projects? Like on the East Main project?
Do you want an update?
Want an update?
Yeah.
They're tearing out sidewalk as we speak.
Are those all part of the contract?
Yes.
They're not extras or?
There's one extra. There was one individual down at Wilson Street,
Okay.
Wilson and Main, and we got that added to the job. They're paying their portion, obviously, but everything else is within the contract.
Okay.
So, they're tearing out sidewalk. They should be starting to slip some curb down through there, Wednesday, weather.
Does that get all new curbs all the way through there?
Where needed, there is some curb that was in good shape that was left. Substantial completion is gonna be October 1st. We might extend it a couple days for the section of Wilson Street that they're gonna do, the extra asphalt curb that we added on to them. They haven't asked for it yet. I look for them to ask for an extra couple days. And then final completion date is in November. And as of right now, they should be able to meet that deadline, so.
Is the extension your call, or I mean?
Yeah, we added it. It was next to the same individual that wanted sidewalk. We took a big tree out. The curb was basically dilapidated from the tree. Mr. Garrison brought up in the council meeting a month or two ago about the washboarding in the street itself. So we're gonna put curb on both sides, mill it out, and pave that approach within the project scope, so.
Are you gonna grind that whole thing when you get done or not?
Main Street?
Yeah.
Main Street is scheduled for 3.5 inches of mill and fill
Oh, okay.
On the asphalt section.
on the asphalt sections. The concrete sections are already patched in and curb added down there. What you see is what you get down on the east end of it.
Wasn't there a median talked about in there?
There was from the get-go, because of cost and the way everything came out, that aspect of it got pulled out.
But all the drainage and all that kind of stuff stayed in there so that,
Correct.
Which, did you talk to him about removing those?
No, I went to do it myself and it was heavy and my back was already hitting, so I thought, and then I got sidetracked.
That's what I tried yesterday.
Yeah, it was heavy, so I left it.
We did have some standing water down there in the hollers last night, but we've still got, what are those, coconut?
Yeah, they're erosion control blankets that they drop in there and keep the sediment and stuff out during construction.
So once those are removed, it should drain properly, and we shouldn't have any standing water.
And when they put enough pipe in there, it'll drain somewhere. And one day, they had 2 semis unloading at the same time down at my place.
What's the biggest pipe we have down there, 32, 36 inch?
Yeah, it's 36 inch where Samuel Milroy is gonna be.
Yeah, but they calculated that out for when we do Sam Milroy to get everything from that as well, which actually Sam Milroy would pick up most of East Monroe Street.
I mean, we won't have that water in the street down there like we always have when it rains real hard.
Well, hopefully not. You can come to where it daylight's out and see it there.
So Main Street's on schedule, and then the levee pump station, that's all but about wrapped up, really. We've got a meeting, I think, tomorrow to go over a few punch list things. The sluice gates are in, flat gates are on.
is it
Final
functional?
grades. It's functional. We had a run-through last week. I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday. We had a little bit of training on it, fired everything up. Everything's basically in. It's just the final punch list and signing off on the paperwork.
What's the range of depth that that'll control?
I think right now they got it at 3.2 or 3.5, somewhere around 3.5 feet
Okay.
inside the vault. So,
That directly would relate to the canal itself, wouldn't it?
no. Indirectly. The weir is set for the canal. That weir is put in to regulate water for the canal. Anything that flows over the weir will come over the top of the weir and into the floodgates. In a situation where you're in a flooding situation and the floodgates and the sluice gates are closed, any water on this side of the closures will come over into the structure that's sitting there. If you walk down there, there's a structure with no top on it currently. That's one of the punch list things. That is the overflow for the canal at that point. That will go into that structure, into the pump station until the floats signal pump, and then it'll pump it over to the other side of the highway. So, it's getting there.
Any questions for our other department heads?
I see we had a bill from BF&S for well 3. What are they doing at well 3?
Still designing to get it to well 3 to well 5.
Is that something that we're gonna be able to get done this year, you think?
Well, yeah, we're supposed to already be done with it, the way I'm thinking.
We haven't let a contract, or we have let a contract?
We haven't
No,
got
we haven't
final
got that.
design and, or bid it out or anything.
I'm thinking, should be next meeting, they should be getting us that design and bid specs for our review.
Yeah, I hope, I mean, last time we really talked to them, we were supposed to do it this month, but I don't know.
Do we need to jack them up a little bit? Maybe send Steve over there and talk to him seriously?
Never good at that, but we'll do it.
I don't think Steve's got it wrong.
You don't have a backup, any backup, they don't ever do that.
Some of you may remember Bob Popejoy. And, I mean, Bob Popejoy was a character, a real character. He had the locker plant down on Washington. He lived out in the East End, and his wife was the worst driver in the United States of America.
Martha.
Martha, my God, the woman was dangerous. When she came down the street, you ran for the middle of the street because that was the safest place. And the police came to Bob and said, Bob, you gotta stop her from driving. She just terrorized the community. And he said, you go talk to her, you got a gun. She was special.
This thing on the well is the well we made deeper? to be
Yeah,
able to
well
hook it
3
up?
we lowered, and then what they're designing is a roll water main from well 3 to well 5, so we can chlorinate it with the gas chlorine in well 5.
We've got the land problem taken care of with that though, the right of way?
Not sure. They avoided the corner where the sisters live. I haven't seen any design sets yet, so.
Oh, okay, I thought that we had to get a bunch of land, we don't have to get a bunch of land now?
No, I don't think it's a bunch.
They should be in the county right away, I would think, in the road there, on 300.
It just frustrates somebody like me that goes out and does things, how long it takes to do something, I go out and take care of it. Sometimes I think we ought to do it and ask for forgiveness later, we need the water.
We shouldn't put our pipes in someone else's land without permission.
Emergency, we need water.
We do have a meeting tomorrow, I have a meeting with them tomorrow to go over the IDM permit, but once they send an IDM permit, that's another 3 months down the road, so, for construction, so. They have 90 days to approve it or not approve it.
We can't tell them it's real important and they'll jump right on it.
Well, I don't know how important that is, but
Okay.
Any other questions for our department heads?
Okay.
All right. Move next to new business. First time in new business. Is change order 1 for East Main Street. So this is an increase of $12,420.25. This is due to the force main that they ran into that they had to repair, the rock excavation, what they wanted to charge us 20-some thousand for. And then we got a credit for some curb and gutter that we allowed to be out of NDOT tolerance, but was still acceptable. And then they've got 1,650 feet of additional saw cutting and gutter removal. Where is that at?
So that's it again?
1,650 feet of additional saw cutting and gutter removal.
The saw cutting was because of the curb and gutter that was underneath the asphalt. So their original cut was too close to the curb, so then they had to go back and recut it.
1,600 feet. They don't break that down, but that's part of the 24,750. And then
It's broken down on the very last page.
well, yeah, okay, I see. So do we need a motion to approve that?
Yes, sir.
Is that all copacetic? I mean,
Yeah, the rock excavation started out about $24,000.
Number 1.
number one. I move that we accept that change order from Keith Riley for Delphi East Main Street.
I will second. We have a motion and a second to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $12,420.25. Do we have any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move next to purchase of backhoe and street department. Budget workshop, the city council agreed, or I guess didn't reduce the amount for the backhoe purchase and salt spreader purchase that are in Aaron's 2018 budget. We'd like to get that ordered as soon as possible because it takes them a few months to get it in. So that when it comes to January 2nd, we can accept delivery and purchase that backhoe.
Actually, the way that would work, Shane, is I could get that as early as November. I would take care of the financing, and the financing isn't due until June or July, whichever Leanne would like it. So we would close the financing out, we'd place the order for the backhoe, I could get that as early as November, we'd have our new piece of equipment, but our first payment would be due of June of 2018.
Forgot about that.
Is this basically what you have now? except
It's
newer?
the, yes.
Is this the one that had the trouble with the axles and stuff on?
This is the one that, yes, that somehow,
It's got 11,000 hours, so it's.
it's got 9,000 hours on it. It's a 1998. Most of the bushings are wore out on it. They're 20 years old, both units. Greg's got one too, and they're both 20
Were
years
bought
old.
at the same time, weren't they?
They're both bought at the same time with 2 dump trucks, correct? Yeah. And they're 98, so they're...
Is Craig taking better care of his, that's why it's in better shape?
Well, they use theirs with salt and stuff.
Let's just say there's some people that worked here years ago that didn't take very good care of it.
What's the shape of the second one? What are we gonna look at replacing it?
I will refer that to the mayor there, since we had this conversation.
Yeah, Craig requested the purchase this year of it. I prefer to wait and see next year since water department's finances are a little tighter than that of the general fund and what we have appropriated. Especially because we have other projects going on within the water department that all come from the same pot of money.
Seems it ought to be staggered, I mean, to buy all that stuff at the same time, then your cycle is kind of screwed up if you.
Well, that's different for us. He's users and I'm general, so that part of it's kind of
Well,
irrelevant.
if you get a new one, will he be borrowing it all the time?
Well, he uses his, and then his is down, or they need to. I mean, we'll share equipment if need be. I mean, it's...
How many hours has got on?
Close to 7.
So we can't get one
It's wore
either?
out too. I mean, it needs new bearings and everything, so. I mean, it's
Remember
just
this
20 years old. We've got
discussion
the-
last time we bought these? The exact word was have one new one, have one used one around. That was the comment and thing, and you don't need 2 new ones at the same time, they both go back at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's smart to just keep putting money in the old one.
No, it's smart to buy one and have one buy another one a couple, 3 liters later, is what they discussed last time. You were here then?
Yeah,
You remember that?
yeah.
That was quite a heated discussion.
Yeah.
So yours may last a couple more years, if you got 7,000 hours.
Well, both of them could last a couple more years. They're same thing. I mean, a new backhoe, the connections are different for the buckets, for one. This one's gonna be a joystick instead of lever action, like ours, so basically, we're going backwards in that machine. The way I look at it, and personally, I don't know how our finances are gonna be better next year than they are right now, so. The same interest rates and, I mean, you see how quick we're moving on projects, we're gonna have the same projects next year. That's just my opinion.
That's what we're here for, is your opinion. Because it's valuable, because you're the guy closest to the work. Sometimes you're real close to the work, aren't you?
Yep.
In the hole. What are we doing now?
It would be approving the financing and purchase of the backhoe for the street department. They've got what do we have here? 80,000 for the backhoe and 13,500 for the salt spreader. Aaron?
Correct. And both of those should come below. I added to those numbers for budget purposes in the event that there's an increase in cost at the end of the year or whatever. So basically, the interest rate as of 8/23 was 3%.
What was budgeted in the, or proposed?
I think I budgeted 32.
Any further discussions?
Is that a lot of money for a trade-in on is that,
It's all numbers.
I mean, I know new one's 150,000.
It's all playing numbers. Are they giving us that for? Absolutely not. No, it's just playing numbers. We get a municipal discount, they show one thing, it's actually another. It's like buying a car, same concept. You walk in there and they tell you, you know, they're giving you $12,000 for your car. Well, that's really not the case, but it's just a play on the numbers, so.
Have you, obviously you want a case like the one you have.
It's close, they've lasted 20 years, we don't have a problem with them, so I just went back with the case.
Have you shopped this around to any other dealers, or are there any other dealers?
Was that on the government bid?
We get government bid on it, yeah, we get government pricing on it.
So that means the state's already shopped around for the best price.
Yeah, we get the government's discount on it.
So it comes down to the trade-in probably. That's arbitrary though?
Yeah, I mean, it's, at the end of the day, they can only give the thing away for so much, and they manipulate those numbers to show you what you're getting on your trade-in. I mean, they show that you're getting, there's no way they're giving us that much for the trade-in. It's just, you know, realistically, if you do the math, they're probably giving us somewhere between, I'd say 13, 20 for it, so.
So do we need a motion to accept both of those?
Yes, sir. Would be for the purchase and financing of the backhoe and salt spreader?
So that's this Security Federal.
Yes, sir.
I move that we accept the Security Federal financing arrangement for the backhoe
You gonna add the salt spreader in there?
and the salt spreader.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
How many years?
How many
5 years, 7 years?
3.
3.
3.
That's not bad.
This is all passed by you and you're all happy?
And Lynn Nestor was with us, that was extremely.
You like Lynn? Okay.
That's all I've got for the agenda. Mr. Bradshaw, Board of Health Work and Safety members' comments and requests?
I'd like to thank everybody who worked and cooperated for the Bacon Fest. That was, it's always nice to know that you got support. Always nice to know there are people behind you. You always know that they're not gonna be setting up hurdles to try to make you jump over. The only thing I'd request is that next year that Steve doesn't talk to Homeland Security, because they seem to always come up with more and more and more and more and more.
Oh, the inspector?
And that's, I guess that's what they get paid to do, to come up with more and more and more.
Yeah, somebody's gonna call him, I don't know.
What if you don't call them? I mean,
He'll find us anyway.
but the putting the concrete barricades in the alley was the end for me. That would be craziness. And I bet Darryl wouldn't appreciate it either.
Well, I think the car, that was actually his idea, but, the cars were a great, way of settling that issue, so that works out well.
Anyway, I think everybody did a great job and well received, and I think our community was shown in a great light. I believe that probably 75% of the people weren't from Delphi, and probably a whole bunch of those weren't even from Carroll County, and there were some that weren't even from Indiana. Because the guys that were doing the beer and wine, they have to look at the ID. And if you ask them, they'll tell you how many people were not from Carroll County, were not from Indiana. course, maybe they were fake IDs, I don't know. But we had one arrest, and that was the total, and that was just a,
First one,
huh?
first one in 3
First
years.
one in yet 4 years.
That wasn't really late at night, was it?
9 o'clock.
Time?
Yeah, 8,
Pretty
9.
early
No,
response.
there was one walking around about midnight, totally lost.
I wasn't that same guy.
Older guy, yeah, he was walking around forever.
But anyway, I really appreciate that, and the chamber appreciates that, the groups that receive those funds. And think about this, that there are almost 10 local organizations that get money from the Bacon Fest. Every one of those groups, like the Lions, the Radnor Church, the VFW, they all get $500, which was pretty nice for a few hours of work. And they all have a good time and enjoy themselves and are very efficient, and just, it's heartwarming to be involved in something like that. So I really appreciate it, everybody.
Do you have any numbers back from attendance?
Well, we had 10,000 at least, and tomorrow night we're having a wrap-up session, so we'll know. We sold $10,000 more of food tickets than we did last year. We also had, I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars of prepayments through the internet, through Groupon, and you guys know what all these are probably. Jeff, I'm sure you do. All these things where you go on and you, I don't know, you put your cell phone up to something and it gives you a ticket. I don't know how it works. And we struggled with that, but we got a couple people now who are into that and know what to do and how to do it. So hopefully next year will be better. We had a few problems, most of them because we had more people in a shorter span of time. We had big long lines, and we had lines up at the high school or waiting for the shuttle to come. We just didn't anticipate 10,000 people in a 6 or 7 or 8 hour period. So, but other than that, it was excellent.
Dick, the one thing you might want to concentrate on next year is signs for handicap where we need them. And also you may think about a portable handicap ramp. Put there by the stairs on this side of the steps to be able to go down, because some of the people had to go all the way around. And
Yeah, we
to
can
be
do a
able
lot
to
better.
get in. I mean, just a suggestion,
We
you
do a
know.
lot better job. We didn't have enough porta pots because we moved some of them over by Pete's. See, 1 and 2 over there. So we really didn't have enough. We should have had 2 or 3 more porta pots in the alley. But every year we learn things from the number of people, the timing they come,
Yeah.
whether they're old or young, and we thought the music this year was a lot better. I mean, we only had 4 bands this year, but we had a lot of people watching the band, particularly at the night. So, and you gotta do that, those are almost a year in advance, because those bands schedule everything a year in advance, or a long period of time. So Brett and Jake work on that, starting right now, and they'll try to get the best band they can get. Always open to suggestions.
So are you gonna keep the same timing, 3 o'clock, or are you gonna?
That worked out pretty well, and I'm sure we'll probably do that. We liked where the stage was. People like that. The vendors like that because it was close to, the beer and wine was close. And everybody seemed to like that pretty well. So, but we'll tell tomorrow, we'll see what the group says. But boy, if you have a comment or a question or a suggestion, we want to hear it. We want to also start getting some younger people involved in this. There's too many old people in this community doing too much, right?
Who you calling?
Oh, yeah. So, boy, we really need some young folks to get involved, and that's a good project, because it's a one-day deal, you know. But believe me, there were hundreds and thousands of hours put into that long before that day came around. You know, so it just takes a lot of organization and a lot of talking and working together. And again, Packers was very supportive of what we're doing. and very happy with what's happened and how it's promoted their product. And again, that was part of the whole deal, was to promote local agriculture, and there's nothing more local probably than bacon and pigs and, as far as agriculture is concerned. And so we were very pleased with the way that turned out. A lot of it probably was we had a great day. Remember, 3 years we've had rain every year. This year we had beautiful sunny weather, cool. You couldn't have ordered a better day probably. And that has a lot to do with the people getting out. So,
Yeah, because I don't think last year we set up until like 1 o'clock because it was raining.
yeah,
It
it
was
rained
late when
real
we
hard
got
at 10,
started.
11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And of course, the first or second year, had to shut the band down because it was,
Mhm.
there's serious thunderstorms, so
Second year.
that's weather, you can't do anything about that, but we're real proud of what everybody did and all the people that were organizing and working on those things. And Julia does a fantastic job and just works unbelievably hard and organizes, and she does a great job. So, thank you for everybody who participated and helped. Hopefully next year, and I think the vendors, all the vendors made more money than they did last year. Some of them a few hundred, some of them a couple thousand more. So, and we're doing this for the vendors, we're doing this for the community. That's why we don't have Joe's Popcorn Stand from Noblesville here. We only have Carroll County vendors. Other than the beer and wine, everybody that comes is from Carroll County. And next year, we'll have Copacetic. You know what Copacetic, you know what that is, the Manahan thing. They're gonna be a beer vendor. They couldn't do it this year, but next year they'll be here. So we got Fruit Shine Wine and Copacetic will be two of our vendors next year. And everybody seemed to like the beer, Sun King and the Beer Works. That seemed to do well, and they had a great day. They made a lot of money. So keep doing that, you get people who wanna come and vendors that wanna come, and great job. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Clerk Treasurer Aldrich, anything?
No.
Public? One last motion, Mr. Bradshaw.
I move we adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
6:03.